right now, all eyes are on AL. What are you going to choose to go with? You could potentially go with something like the Quirky, the Leona Unbound, the Misfortune out as well. It's going to be the Leona. Huge priority right there. Has been paired up a lot with the things like the Ziggs, and the Misfortune has that Wombo Combo-esque flair that AL could be using down the bot lane.
I will also say, fact after that last game is Anyone's Legend hadn't lost a red side game so far in the Rumble stage. Did take that L there. Definitely one few and far between for Anyone's Legend in taking the losses this split. It is Tarzan taking something he has been willing to hover towards so far this split. It is the Nidalee coming out.
That's a very firm, quick pick right here for Tarzan. If you will, a little bit more of a quote-unquote selfish pick out of all the AP clearing junglers that we have seen, and one that really needs to snowball in the early game. So I'm looking forward to see what Weibo Gaming have in store. Already they've showed us a tank towards the top side of the map. So clearly Tarzan is not planning to play towards that side of the map. So I'm expecting a lot of spice to come out through the bot side of the map, and particularly mid.
And honestly, from this get-go, like, Tarzan has to be so active and so proactive, honestly, on this Nidalee. You have to be ahead against a composition like this because Anyone's Legend are looking pretty stalwart so far with the Zyra Corki lock-in.
Let's see what AD is going to be in the mid lane. Yone is one of the most prominent ones, especially when it comes to Corki. Has a lot of side lane pressure as well. Can choose to play however you prefer with the champion. Very versatile, great in team fights, great in split push, good early to mid game as well. Especially when you get your trades correctly down that mid lane. So that's a pretty good pressure point potentially after level 3 for your Nidalee to work off of. However, I'm still not dead set on what this Nidalee can do unless I do see that bot of the map. I'm expecting Light and Crisp to go for something ultra aggressive.
And as a little tangent on Xiaohu's Yone here, definitely been a nice addition to the toolkit for this guy. Definitely not known for his Yones. Obviously, he has like 6 games, I think, played in his career on the Yone itself. Obviously, newer champion, but it's been a flexible style from Xiaohu that I've really appreciated in terms of like a bit of a renaissance on Weibo for him in his career. Now we are neck deep into the second phase. Already in the bans as it's full bot lane focus so far. The Ziggs and the Ezreal going to be banned by Weibo. It is the Senna already, Anyone's Legend banning one.
And very interesting, the Ezreal ban right here. Again, the Spike together with Corki, these two champions literally build the same first 2 items. So getting that Spike early on with the double Trinity Force gets very scary fighting around objectives. And especially when Tarzan wants to play for that early game to snowball, you definitely do not want double Trinity Force champions that poke playing into you. Misfortune is going to get locked in. What is going to be likely the support right here? We're looking at things like the Rel, the Alistar, some kind of champion that can pin people down for quite a while.
I like the Misfortune takeaway. It's been something that Hope has been very happy to take, and it also layers up with the CC chain super well that they had. I think Weibo taking away some of the core pieces of Anyone's Legend, but there is that tried and true Kaisa that Light dismantled Anyone's Legend this last game, and it'll be Hope piloting that this time.
Ooh, could he be Allah on his Jax? Not banned away. Usually, first 3 bans for most teams when they play versus AL, and it is going to be the case. Jax locked in into the Cassante. Breathe is going to suffer just a little bit towards the top side of the map. However, I feel like Weibo Gaming have already pre-decided that they are going to be playing towards that bot side. You got the stat checker, which is Misfortune, early on. And I'm not going to lie to you, I feel Hope is not going to be on a pretty good footing down that bot side of the map. Very short range AD carry, playing into the stat checks, playing into the double ups from Misfortune. Might be a little bit difficult to get any priority towards the bottom of the map for AL, which means Tarzan will definitely have his target on them.
Will indeed. We get the Alistar locked in, though, as that Wombo combo set up for Weibo, and Chris very happy to be on the tools of that one. But again, I think when we look at it, it's really all eyes on Tarzan on the Nidalee to be extremely active, because Anyone's Legends comp is going to be just fine if they don't fall too far behind and can at least scoop up some of these objectives. Blue side making it a little bit easier, and the Zyra itself is going to have a ton of clear speed in this matchup.
Oh yeah, I feel like all eyes are on Tarzan right here. Weibo Gaming have made a very bold statement, which was insta-lock Nidalee R1. After they see Leona, they have to figure out ways to make it work. They've got so much setup towards that bot side of the map. We could be talking even about invades early on with that Nidalee, wherever you have priority. So again, all eyes and all pressure on Tarzan to make that early to mid-game work for him to get ahead.
Holistically in this series, you have to remember it's anyone's legend that we're coming in this one to prove they're cut from a different cloth, to prove that they are a top team in Group Ascend of the Rumble stage. They're 3-1. They've only taken a handful of losses, and it was to JDG in their last series. Weibo, they've had ups and downs. Consistently inconsistent has been the word we've said so many times for this team. But this is a chance to prove that going into their last week of play next week with all 3 series back to back to back, that they can rise against and find consistency in its form. Now, it was a rough and tumble game number 1 for anyone's legend. Weibo stomped them into the dirt. Well, let's see if they can rise themselves in game 2. Love to hear it.
There's even more. There's even more after the Giles.
But this has been a matchup that I've personally been looking forward to just because of some of the question marks behind these two teams. It is a single round robin. You have to remember Group Ascend, having those 9 teams. You play 8 games. This is the 5th game for anyone's legend, and they've been a team that everybody's been kind of keeping a side eye on. Are they the real deal? Are they not? They've proven time and time again that they are in a lot of regards, but then you have a series like this one that kicks off where Weibo completely trounces them.
Yeah, I feel like AL also having a lot of dominance in the placements where you're pretty much slotted with other teams that are not necessarily that hard to beat. However, when they did move over to Group Ascend, we're like, okay, this is the real big deal. These are the big teams that they have to face. The first 3 that they went up against were a struggling FPX, a struggling NIP, and LGD, and they took them out by storm. 2-0 every single series. And then came JDG, and we're like, okay, this will be the telltale of if AL are the real deal, and they are. That series was absolutely incredible between the 2 teams, and AL did not come out on top. They lost 2-1 to JDG. However, they put up a really strong fight, and I'm expecting to do the exact same thing here versus Weibo Gaming. Call it a game on fluke, call it a game on Andy. However, I do believe that AL have all the tools they need. Engages, disengages, mixed damage. They've got a fantastic composition to push that forward.
And again, they're fine kind of resting on their laurels, being perfectly fine if the game state is either even or if they are just a tad bit behind because their team fighting is going to be insane. You have a little bit of that. Again, the combos are always aplenty for Weibo on their side, but it really is about getting a snowball going with Tarzan on this Nidalee. He will show his face in mid lane though to Shanks.
He was pinging towards Croco's bot side jungle. However, your bot lane is getting pushed in, so if you choose to invade right there, something is not very right. Something is a little bit sus. Hope and Kael have been having a lot of priority towards that bot side of the map, and as you can see, I feel like Croco might have a lot of priority. Grab that support, link up with KL, 2022 Sandbox vibes. Get into that jungle, grab that Grump away from Tarzan.
If these two connect, especially Kael getting out on the map early, that's where consistently anyone's legend have been able to choke out games from their opponents. A little bit of the same with Weibo on the side of Tarzan. There will be a little bit of an invade secured by Croco and friends, as they're actually going to move to help him secure the scuttle grab too. And this is the kind of stuff you need to see when you're against the Nidalee. You don't go roaming into Cougar country all alone.
Nice 3 camps that Croco is up right now, and Weibo, ooh, they're unaware, they're unaware.
The grasping roots will get the flash out of Chris there.
Great stuff. We expected Tarzan to play towards the bot side of the map, but due to the fact that Croco and friends pushed Tarzan towards the top side of the map, they knew they were uncontested to make a play, try to get a summoner spell. Now, not having that flash onto Crisp dissipates a lot of that pressure that they would have when Tarzan would be around, and right now you see Tarzan top side of the map, and into this jungle. Croco, is he aware that this is happening? No item onto Tarzan. Croco's walking back.
What did I just
with
say?
red buff and Fated Ashes.
What did I just say? You can't go roaming into Cougar Country by yourself. Oh, but if you miss the spear, then I guess you can. Tarzan, unfortunately, not going to be able to hit that one. Croco going to be just fine pushing out into his own jungle.
I don't even know if Tarzan wants this. There is Fated Ashes onto Croco. There's a red buff onto Croco. He actually deals a lot of damage. If you bunch up onto a lot of these plants, Tarzan...
He's got prior on mid.
End up, he does.
Oh, the back can stop. The headbutt back, though. Chris separating the fight a little bit there. On bot side, the back did want to come through from anyone's legend, but they won't get it off just yet. Hope will pop that one now.
Tarzan is trying to put as much pressure as possible into Croco, but Croco just keeps farming. He's almost double the CS up. Reminder, this is a Nidalee that needs to get ahead in the early game. However, you also need to have the lanes available to you to help you shine. To help you push through into the enemy jungle, invade, take those trades. However, Light and Crisp have been sat underneath their tower for majority of this game. Crisp losing his flash, might lose his life.
Oh no! It's the supportal outplay solo bolo for Kael.
Absolute disaster from the bottom of Weibo Gaming. Again, the consistently inconsistent allegations are coming back. Well, Weibo Gaming, Crisp walks a little bit too far forward. Tries to touch the sun, gets burned. Kael with the 1v2 underneath the tower. And again, it has been a case of your only literally playable lane for Tarzan is most likely that bot lane. But now, not only did you look flash on your Alistar, you were playing underneath the tower. Now you've also given a kill away, which means that Leona will get beefier and beefier as time goes by. Talking about that, Leona helping to pressure in that mid lane, getting more numbers, close those void grabs as well. Croco is just taking them away.
Yeah, getting the extra bodies out on the map meant that they could just move to that play, and Kael getting the outplay here.
He didn't even necessarily have to do this. Kael could not potentially hold this wave in front of the tower, which is what he attended at the beginning, but it wasn't quite the case.
Xiaohu needs to be careful, though. Croco had an angle there, not going to hit the grasping moves just yet. Gonna save that one. Dragon is up. We're positioning from anyone's legend over here to take the scuttle out from Tarzan. The flash play for Kael. They actually get the play out of Tarzan. Now he's not gonna have the distance to cover the rest of it, though, and Tarzan will make it out with a nice little pounce. Anyone's legend forced out of the play. Didn't get what they came for, but they did get the flash of Tarzan.
Yeah, Croco flashes forward as well to try and place his ultimate in the tri-brush. Didn't quite manage to get anything more other than Tarzan's flash right there. Even out in gold in the jungle right now. Reminder, this is the biggest matchup that we were looking at. You've got in Italy, you are supposed to get ahead in these matchups if you want to be that force in the early game. Later on, you've got things like the Leona, the Jax. It could be taking a bunch of those routes where you've got the plants as well that can be used from Croco to tank a lot of these spears thrown at you, especially when you're walking into objectives. So unless Tarzan finds a way to somehow get himself ahead, it's going to be a little bit grim transitioning from mid to late.
We are hitting level 6s for everybody, though, so the big wombo combo available for Weibo now. If they can get the Faint Shield plus the bullet time combo down. But on the other side, you have a lot of those pick-out tools. Killer Instinct and Hope that we saw Light utilize so well last game, but also Kael pretty much has a cancel button on anybody on the side of Weibo. Very difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, speaking of Weibo, they're actually trying to make a play on the Ala. Does have the leap strike out onto the ward. Tarzan still going to show his face up here, though. Maybe try to get the push in on the wave.
Yeah, trying the long-range spear right there. It's not going to be enough to tag Ala. He's going to be able to get out. No need to use his flash. Doesn't have it available anyway. And Kael, again, onto that mid lane. Putting some pressure down. Trying to help Shanks push that lane. It does become a little bit difficult. Ala is going to be fine. It does become a little bit difficult for Corky to just pressure out that mid lane. You could very easily get your flash burned right there. Kael constantly helping to get that push down mid means that Xiaohu doesn't get any free reign on the map. Reminder, this was the guy god, Tarzan so far ahead in game number 1, but it's having pure mid lane dominance.
Yeah, it's crazy how much mid lane priority can enable the junglers in the LPL. We've seen it run rampant across the league so far. Mid lane push will be in favor of Weibo now as they move over to a dragon already started up by Anyone's Legend. They'll be able to take that objective. So far, Anyone's Legend giving Weibo a bit of taste of their own medicine, taking full objective control so far in this game too.
About 1,000 gold in the lead as well for AL. And
oh,
Tarzan.
That's the combo you like to see. And Croco, he'll get his blood.
Getting flashbacks from Croco actually doing this in game number 1. Chris now in trouble.
He doesn't have the unbreakable will there. Does get the full time out from light.
Mid-wall?
Into mid lane.
Not gonna result in much. Shanks and Xiaohu have been trading since literally the very beginning of this game, and this is pretty much the nature of this matchup as well. If you are the Yone, you definitely want to be trading into that Corki, getting to use as much of that mana as possible, especially if you're getting to use W. That means Corki can never walk up again because it gets very dangerous, especially after level 6 onto the Yone, who you have the ultimate for the all-in. Xiaohu is trying to get as much pressure in the mid lane as possible. However, Kael has showed up again in that mid lane.
As soon as Xiaohu goes forward too, gets immediately comboed by Kael, as it has been a constant, but that's what we love to see. That's the biggest difference that we're seeing in this game number 2 is Kael being very proactive on the map in a successful way.
And you're not threatened down the bot lane, right? Hope has both flash and barrier, and Crisp has constantly been burning his flash, which means you're not gonna get those long range flashy engages coming in from the Alistar. Kael gonna find himself a cow. However, Weibo Gaming are going to be able to sneak in those void grabs towards the top side of the map, denying AL the 4 buff that you can get. They'll be fine with it. However, you do have the Jack, so you would much like to have the buff available to you. That's not going to be the case. Weibo are going to deny.
So taking a little bit of stock of what we've seen so far, the proactivity from Tarzan hasn't really amounted to much, even though we said that's a key factor moving forward. AL going to feel a lot more confident on the map now. They've been able to survive this early game and get some of these objectives under tow for themselves.
Ooh, Croco. He's got eyes on to breathe. Ala's gonna clear out those wards. That can also act as a bait. Clearing those wards towards river means that, hey, Croco might be coming through that river, but he sneaked in onto all the way to the 3rd brush on top side of the map. Maybe 1 route will be enough, but this is a Cassante, and he's playing very, very close and safe towards his tower.
Knowing something was up, the back will be completed by Croco. But as I was kind of talking about earlier, a little bit of that check-in for Weibo on the side of Anyone's Legend. They are going to be on the first item very soon. Bullet time will be using boss items to clear out the wave. But Shanks going to be very close to his first item here. We already got the static shiv for the wave clear of Hope. And their team fight around these objectives is going to be lethal.
And that's just great news. You've got that static shiv, you're pushing down the wave super quickly. You're never going to be threatened by Light and Crisp in that regard. And this was actually our fighter lane. It was picked into the Kai'Sa, that misfortune, and that Alistar to try and win lane, create a point of pressure on the map for Tarzan to play through. However, Tarzan right now has fallen behind. Bot lane is only 400 gold ahead, and Hope has immense wave clear towards the bots of the map, which means that Croco can play towards those dragons, start stacking them up for AL. This is the bread and butter. Getting that pressure through one simple summoner or one simple kill into vision, into neutral objectives is how they have been demolishing every single team so far.
We'll continuously see the trades until they actually become impactful between these 2 top laners. But big thing now is thinking about the setups around trading for Rift Herald versus the Dragon. 2 dragons sets up Anyone's Legend to buy themselves a ton of time in a lot of regards, but the Rift Herald trying to get the crack down on some of these outer turrets could be really important. It is Leandri's already completed by Tarzan.
Yeah, we should have Leandris very soon onto Croco as well. He's waiting in base, I'm assuming. Just a couple more gold to finish up his item. He is 400 gold up. However, he does have his boots available. It is going to be the case. Grabs that Leandris for himself. Leandris, which is a lot more impactful onto the Zyra than it is onto the Nidalee. A lot of AoE damage coming through all those plants that can burn you down. And the full tempo rotation coming in from AL right here, playing for that Rift Herald, as you mentioned, making sure that you choke Weibo Gaming as hard as possible in that early game. If you take control, off the topside river, having that Zara is a huge tool because people walking into you, they're walking into plants.
Now, Xiaohu is on the other side of the map, does have TP available. Breeze being surrounded by the sharks of anyone's legend, or maybe the pandas. Maybe looking like a nice stick of bamboo here. And Croco actually able to do a decent amount of poke onto Tarzan, who is not a tanky member on this middle lead. Oh, looking on the top side now. TP will end up coming as a defense by Allah into the bot side.
However, this could end up being a numbers advantage for Weibo Gaming. There is TP onto Xiaohu, so they'll definitely have 5 members if they want to on the top side map. Breathe has to get back a little bit off this tower just so he can make sure he gets this reset. And as you can see on your map, the TP is going to be called in. They're going to swap around Yone top, Cassandra towards the bot side towards the Jax.
Crisp just finding out Kael there. He's in a lot of trouble, but does have to back up. Xiaohu finding hope, though. That was so close, and now Tarzan coming to finish off the job. Crisp is about to give him the horns. The double knockup is there, and Xiaohu comes in to claim the kill after everything.
I hope didn't think he wanted to mess with the bull and didn't think the bull was around. And grabbing the kill very importantly onto the Yone. I feel like Xiaohu might be the difference maker right here, as Ale and Breathe casually just exchanging a few hits with each other. Jax becomes an absolute menace on a side lane later on, and we will be able to see possibly the Yone versus Jax. However, for now, Weibo Gaming, they're looking for that Herald. Kael is moving forward.
They have the
super low
cutoff here with the walls, with the Rift Herald not going to be finished off by Weibo. Tarzan maybe want to step up just in case. Allah has shown up in mid lane. Going to take a little bit of run damage from Light as he does, but the Rift Herald is continued by anyone's legend here. Weibo circling back to try to fight it off. It is going to be secured by Croco. Solar Flare pops, but the flash in return.
AL are giving up pressure towards the bot side of the map. They do not care if Cassandra gets a lot more gold because they do have the tools to take him down later on. That mixed damage through AD damage with the Corki and the Kaisa as well will be enough to try and take Cassandra down later on. They figure that getting that referral is going to be of much more importance to them. They want to start taking down towers, playing out the macro versus Weibo Gaming. Weibo Gaming, who on the reset are going to take that dragon away. Again, you see the TP coming in. This time is Xiaohu. They swap places. Ooh,
really good
Hope has to flash
Hope.
the ultimate right there. And ult away. Just about survives on the snap back from the extra damage on the ability. And Crisp has to commit the flash right here just so he doesn't have to tank enough that tower, as he knows that the rest of AL are right behind him.
Barrier waited on until the last second from Hope, but still not enough. Now we look back to it though. Croco and Kael, the Wonder Duo, have combined to catch Crisp out, and they're going to carve him up into some nice hamburgers.
That's 4 members of AL committed towards the top side of the map. Nice trade!
Xiaohu is getting everybody jumped onto him, and now he's used everything. All he has left is flash, and he wants to go in on a Croco. He's pushing them off the turret. It's going to get the execute over onto Kael, and it's the trade kill in the end, and anyone's legend coming out on top with that one.
And what's happening on the other side of the map? They do not have a wave. Weibo Gaming are trying to push down the tower before the teleport comes in.
The all-out came through as the Valkyrie, but it still is not going to get the kill. They do get the turret as another trade.
Trading mid lane tower for top lane tower. I think Weibo Gaming being behind in this game, they will 100% take that trade. Now the question mark right here is that Zara is 3-0 and you've got a Nidalee. Crisp walking a little bit too far forward. He sees the control ward in there. That is 3 members of AL. He has to walk forward to not get hit by the Zara ult. This is just not going to be enough. You're just prolonging your death right there. And Xiaohu tries to take a favorable trade. However, Hope dives straight back in to trade that. Ends up dying. Nice flash for the Q right there to get the extra shield. But Croco just...
I can't believe Kael gets to execute. Like that, it feels like they literally were just fighting. And now Xiaohu going to be a little bit worse for wear for that one, not picking up the gold on the back end. So Dragon not going to be in the eyes of any beholders, but they are looking for plays. As I think anyone's legend have been very willing to step up in these in-between moments.
Oh, absolutely. Ale as well, very willing to drop his lane. He knows that it's much more important for his team to win fights when you've got numbers advantage, and he is going to get stronger than Cassandra anyway on the side lane. So just sacrificing a couple of creeps, maybe one tower to the Cassante is going to be enough to win your team the fight. And it has been the case so far. Again, AL has been praised a lot for the way they play the tempo around the map and the way they rotate their members to try and benefit from pure numbers advantage. Xiaohu almost on Croco.
But that's kind of the angle now as well. He's really wanted to be on that third item. We saw earlier on today what a third item Yone can do for a game. Weibo looking down a long wait for that one. Tarzan still going to try to be proactive though.
They're looking inside Croco's jungle. They have been doing this the entire game. Pretty much. Let's see if they can get a kill immediately.
They actually get the Strangleforward combo there as well. Tarzan's just completely out of existence. The sun is just too bright for him. They got Croco over on the other side though, gifting a kill to Light. Ala is going to get knocked back, still gets the counter-strike onto Breeze. Breeze still makes it out alive after burning his flash. And now Weibo trying to retreat. Ala wants to get the engage, gets the counter-strike. Bullet time right back, though. And now Xiaohu looking for his angle, gets immediately shut down by a double kill to Shanks. Oh my god. Oh my god. Light, he's doing it again. The man had a mega pop-off in game number 1. And now he's popping off in game number 2.
What a great headbutt from Crisp onto Ala as well. He had the counter-strike ready. This could have been disastrous for Weibo Gaming. Light saves that team fight off of the back of that play for Weibo Gaming. Keeps their hopes alive. 3-0 to the misfortune. Let's watch this again. Tarzan's been playing very aggressively together with Crisp. This is not a Nidalee that is ahead. The second anyone jumps forward, Hope is more than happy to pull the trigger and get in. Xiaohu also misses on the ultimate. They do manage to trade 1-for-1, but when Ala's TP joins, everyone has to run for the heals from the side of Weibo. And as you'll see right here, Xiaohu plays very cleverly through the wall. But the second the first pick happens right here and Xiaohu dives forward, they just don't let him move. It's a Q from Leona. He's stuck permanently. Great kill right there from Light. And you'll see the counter-strike will come out from Ala. Insta headbutt. Crisp has been doing this every single fight.
Really impressive stuff from Weibo to fight that one out. Now you look at the damage done, and it's a 3-0 Light on the Misfortune. Second item completed there with the Bloodthirster as well.
That Infinity Edge right now with the crit cloak as well. It's gonna be hurting. Second item completed for Xiaohu. Remember how much of a menace this champion gets on 3 items, and Weibo Gaming have managed to sort of equalize the gold as well. About 2,000 gold in deficit for Weibo Gaming. Reminder how important this particular game is for them. The consistently inconsistent team absolutely smashed AL in game number 1. Another side in the Dragon in game number 2.
AL pride on the line in this series.
Oh, Ala.
Yeah, the Dragon just goes straight to Tarzan. He immediately takes it. Now the re-engage there is not going to go through the Fade Seal to victory, at least the safety for Xiaohu. And Weibo, they are looking at getting to their defensive turret down here in bot side, but maybe they just want to take the fight anyway. Breeze gonna all out Kael, and Kael's just gone. Light claims that kill. Now Tarzan has Hope on the other side. They're gonna bring the Hex Gate over. Croco, get you a man like him that'll come save your life, or maybe just die trying. Oh my god, Hope makes it out with the Hex Gate, and now Croco gave his life for nothing. It is going to be the distractionary tool by anyone's legend. Picked out, Croco's down.
Everyone from AL is scattered around the map, and Weibo Gaming are sticking together as a unit because they know if they don't, they would get assassinated by Hope's Kaisa. Great stuff from Weibo. They grab the Dragon, they take control of the top side as well. Crisp is holding the line. It's a 3 versus 3.
Ala has a counter-strike available. He's going to have a ton of damage on the Chris now. The rest of Weibo, they're looking like anyone's legend as they were trying to run away. And again, they find Crisp, and they'll take him down to size.
He'll take some control over towards the top side of the map, and it has been the entire case for AL. They're trying to get as much vision control as possible. However, now the Baron is going to get started. Tarzan is around.
Yeah, the Gwynsu's unlocks this. The 2 item spikes for both these marksmen unlocks this. Anyone's legend. They're bringing Croco over, but Tarzan's already pointing center. Xiaohu going for the flank of a century. He does have the combo. Croco's here, but he's getting locked out immediately. The solar flare has to be the difference. Xiaohu misses, but he gets the triple knock up anyways. Croco no longer there. Tarzan gets taken out by Ala though. No juggler on the table means the fight for Baron is done.
Oh, Xiaohu with the TP. Can Kael find him?
No,
He got
they
blocked.
can't get him. Xiaohu makes
He
it
got
out
blocked.
alive.
He got blocked by the wolves that Xiaohu pulled, and he just couldn't make it in time to stop him to connect the E. Genius. Xiaohu enrolled the wolves into the team, and they worked to his advantage right there. But what a scrappy fight around the Baron. Both these teams are willing to throw their bodies, and the gold is almost dead even yet again. 4-0-4 for Shanks onto the score. 6-0-1 on the Misfortune for Light on the other side. And as you can see, Xiaohu had a pretty great flank right there. Breathe follows up onto Croco as well. This absolutely decimating right here. However, Xiaohu misses everyone, grabs them with the Q3 luckily. And here Ale trades the jungler, which means that the hopes for a Baron right there for Weibo Gaming are sort of dissipated together with Tarzan.
I just love that both these top laners, like, if I can take out the jungle, that's all that matters. And they do so indeed. Very back and forth, very much what we expect between these two teams. That's why game one was a bit of an amalgamation and a wonder at where anyone's legend was going to show up. Now they find themselves in a little bit of a dicey situation with a very tight game. But they have a lot of scaling, as we had mentioned, from the draft in their side. Croco, be a little bit careful out on the map, but there is always the threat of the Baron.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it has not been very impressive seeing that needly performance come out of Tarzan in this particular game. It leaves me with all the coulda, woulda, shouldas of a champion like Brand, for example, that he's played a lot. Lilia, Croco, he's looking for Tarzan. Crisp is walking in, but now the Rylai is being completed. Means that getting slowed requires your flash to be up if you want to look for engages if you're Crisp. Luckily for him, he does have the flash available. Weibo Gaming are going to move in to establish a little bit more vision towards the top side of the map. That Baron is up and available, can go down really quickly with things like Misfortune in Italy.
Try to get the combos, but then especially on the back end, if you overextend, they just pull the trigger on you, and then you get all of that thrown at your face. Ala is starting to have a little bit of a better time in the side lane. That's going to be something that Weibo have to deal with.
It's absolutely Jack's time. It's happening. 2 items in for the Jacks, playing into a tank. There's not much you can do if you're Breathe, but just sit there and hope that Ale is at some point going to stop chasing you on that lane. Xiaohu on the other side. It has been a big gold lead in the mid lane in general. However, Xiaohu has showed how important he is in those fights. He has yet to hit a huge ultimate. Weibo Gaming are going to start the Baron right here. They saw Corki down bot lane. They're looking for TPs.
They were spotted out by the blue trinket. TP coming down. Breathe not going to come just yet. Oh, they got the lockdown on Chris. He's got to pop the Unbreakable Will, but it's not going to be enough. Look how much damage is coming out from him. Our Counter-Strike is Pop Baron, assumed control loved by anyone's legend, but this is what Weibo wanted. This is exactly the setup as Tarzan waiting on the other side. Oh, it's going to catch him out now. They got to try to catch out Croco. Look at Breathe. He's going to solo down Croco here as well. The junglers, they're in trouble now. And Weibo, they're in the Baron pit, but it's been light the whole time as he struts his stuff to taking down the carries of the side of anyone's legend. It's the Baron that's under tow now, and Weibo will secure that one too.
What a great series. Light has been popping the F off this entire series. 9-0-1. He's playing an immobile carry into Zyra, Kai'Sa, Leona, Jax, and his positioning has been impeccable. He chases right about the right targets every single time. And even though Ale is dead set on killing Tarzan every single damn time to not allow him to steal the Baron, he's gonna flash Counter-Strike onto him, and look at Light. He stands still, takes everyone's attention off of the other carries, and then ends up assassinating every single one. Flashes forward, gets the passive from Misfortune, moves faster, grabs Shanks on the way out.
Ben's just sitting there while all the explosions are going around him, and he's just like picking people off one by one. Love to see that from Light, a main stage of LNG in their miracle run. 6,000 total assists by Crisp, a legend of the LPL, and now number 2 by head and above. And what a wonderful accolade to have for Weibo.
Absolutely. Light right there. Knew he was safe. Everyone else was too busy around him. He's like, hey, if I just sit there and press R, no one's going to notice me. Everyone else is doing different things. Weibo Gaming are using their Baron, pressure on the top side, pressure in the middle, pressure on the bot side as well. Trying to get all the remaining standing gold. Again, if they win here with a clean 2-0, AL is the team to beat. Everyone was looking at them for tempo, for macro, for movements on the map. For Weibo Gaming, they're consistently inconsistent kings of the LPL. For them to win here is a huge statement.
Made to come back here. Now fake sealed there. Croco going down. He's going golden. Now everybody throwing their bodies here to keep him alive. They aren't going to find him. TP on the back. This is the play anyone's legend needed. Allah, he's got the counter strike. He's got the angle. He's on the light. Killer instinct in from Hope. They got him. Light's gone. They actually found the carry, but Hope's in trouble. Hope's getting all outed by Breed now as well. Counter strike on the other side though. Allah is finding Xiaohu. The CC chain is alive and well, and anyone's legend are going to breathe a living moment into themselves.
The instant overextension for Weibo Gaming is going to get punished by AL. Great teleport flank by Allah to shut them down. 4-1 and 3, they have found Breed into the jungle.
Breed just came back out of base, but Tarzan is here. Maybe they didn't expect the 2v2. The red buff is the focus right now as it's blocking all the spears. Breed is just taking 2 members right now as Allah takes that spear. Shanks is here now as well, the red buff. All of this fighting all over, and Weibo's the one that comes out with it.
Yeah, Tarzan smites away the red buff. Great patience right there from Allah as well. He was holding on to the counter-strike to see if Tarzan was going to take the follow-up on the spear that he did hit onto Allah. Let's watch this again. Crisp. He's playing between tier 2 and tier 3. Great stuff right there. Xiaohu finds the ultimate too, but Croco with a very clutch stopwatch right there and flash out. The bullet time is not committed to kill him, and incredible TP flank right there from Aleph. Finds the one target that has been constantly getting away with it, and that's Light. The W connects from Hope. Allah jumps into the backline with the counter-strike as well, and everybody just shuts down Light.
That was 1,000 gold to Hope's pocket there as well. As soon as the Void Seeker went through, he immediately followed it up with the counter, or with the Killer Instinct. Really good play calling from anyone's legend there, and that's some of the fighting we've expected from them. That's why we saw them take JDG to task, even if that was a loss. Now anyone's legend backs against the wall here, still at a little bit of a deficit, but we're starting to see their composition come alive.
And this is a telltale on Light's positioning as well, right? If you miss position once, if you're too far ahead, they will find you. They have the tools. Leona, Kai'Sa, Jax, very, very good at finding immobile targets and jumping into the backline. All Hope needs is to either find some CC onto Misfortune or find a W, which he did last time. And I freaking love watching the LPL play Kai'Sa because they're so willing to instantly pull the trigger and dive into the backline. Hope giving his life away to take Lights is so worth it here because majority of that damage comes from Light. You take him down, you take the ability of Weibo Gaming to teamfight.
It's all about who you can take out of the enemy team in these moments. And again, I love that we got the back and forth nature of the late game team fights of our Group B matchup earlier, and now we're in the Ascension group, and tensions could never be higher between these two teams. Anyone's a legend, so close to proving that they belong, so close to having those tests go right for them so many times, but so far, Weibo have had the better hand in this best of 3. It is the Dragon coming up in about 45 seconds or so. Light, having just gotten a bat completed, is on full items. GA completed.
Oh, love the GA right here. That's up his flash available. Cleanse will be up very soon as well. You kill him once, you have to kill him twice. Hope has to think twice this time around about jumping onto that Misfortune, because if you do, you kind of get...
Chris just said, let's go. He's trying to get the combo. The bullet time gets used, so that's a lot of tools utilized. They've got Breathe on the flank. They've got to get Hope out of there, as he's in a lot of trouble now. They have Allah on the flank to stop any more of the pincer maneuvers. Hope burning is going to have to pop the barrier there as well. Doesn't really have a way out, getting the backstop, and Weibo can surround this fight. Hope's all by himself. Xiaohu wants him. Gets the Killer Instinct back with the at least shield to save his life for the moment. Hope needs to surround, but Weibo, now they're looking to be aggressive as anyone's legend. They feel like they've started retreating, but Weibo, they're split. They don't know which side to go after. Tarzan is finishing off Hope. He does do so, and anyone's legend aren't able to kill Breed after all.
Ooh, that was very scary from Weibo. The miscommunication right there by spreading apart when they were TPing into the fight, didn't know who they wanted to focus. Crisp finding hope there, so huge for Weibo Gaming to play that 4 versus 5. They can sprint it straight to that Baron. They got the soul themselves too. The slow is going to be so huge for the fights to come. You slow someone down. Crisp doesn't have the flash, so it would be much easier for him to actually find a target. Xiaohu?
And a little bit of a punch. And we are at the point where one slip up could just mean the game in a lot of regards. This Baron is up. It's Weibo that started up here.
Breathe is guarding, Crisp is guarding the other side as well. Allah, can you find Tarzan this time around?
Watch the tanks, watch the frontliners going for these junglers. Tarzan will just get the Baron. Stranglethorn's back. AL don't really have a lot of fight left to give. The bullet time has been used, so some of the wombo combo is gone. We've got to watch the pincer maneuver here. Look at Hope. He could join at any moment. Kael not as confident to move up. Croco not able to hit the grasping roots just yet. Voidseeker goes wide. Weibo regaining a little bit of confidence in the fight. Just going to use the Baron empowered backs to get a recall off.
Ooh, both of these teams are trying to dodge abilities right, left, and center. Hope throwing those Voidseeker spears coming out from Tarzan as well. Let's have a look at this one more time. Insane flash engage onto Hope from Crisp. Again, the veteran on Weibo Gaming. 6,000 assists. This guy is insane.
Trap.
Finds Hope, the trap. He has to trigger the barrier, the burn coming through. And they knew that there was no way Hope could reset in this fight. Flash from Xiaohu committed as well, trying to make this plays. And that was a great TP. Xiaohu will stop here and TP straight into Hope's face. However, Weibo Gaming, the comms were a little bit split right here. Tarzan goes for Hope, whilst on the other side, Breathe gets left to rot between 4 members, sorry, of AL. Makes it all alive, and so far Weibo Gaming are getting away with all of the neutral objectives.
The fact that Breeze survives there is so massively huge. They also were able to secure that soul with the Hextech soul for them, so the poke is going to be even more of a detriment to anyone's legend. But if Breeze goes down there, they lose a lot of the tempo in the map. And now, with all the tempo they've garnered, with the soul, the Baron, everything available for Weibo, they will put on the siege on anyone's legend to end their hopes of being a top-tier team so far in the Rumble stage. Now, they are still pushing on 2 waves here.
Again, reminder, they called Light. He has to press his cleanse right there. They're gonna siege onto this tower. AL, they might have to have a last fight right here. Maybe if a root lands and engage, all eyes on Kael. Who does he choose to go for? Doesn't have the solar flare anymore, and another tower is just about to go down from Weibo.
Trying to look here. Oh, massive 3-man counter-strike from Allah. Is this the fight they needed? You got to look at Hope. He's the main damage dealer. Xiaohu finds them, though, and there's the bullet time over top of Allah's Golden State. They've just picked them apart one by one again. They've lost Kael. They've lost Allah. And now Weibo. They're moving in for the final nail in the coffin against anyone's legend. Consistently inconsistent. It doesn't matter when you come up with wins. And so far, they've had a dominant series against anyone's legend.
Breeze's gonna regen his HP. He's coming back up. TPing in only 3 members of AL.
Oh, they know what they came for. Weibo will not be put down today. They will make good on their loss to Top Esports. And Weibo will hand AL a 2-0 loss.
What an incredible performance by Weibo Gaming. Statement performance.
That man right there.
Wow.
Like I can't believe it. Like the both games in this series, this man popping off. Obviously a huge friendship having been developed on that LNG roster between him and Allah. But the man stepping up twice in a row. Incredible series from him and from Weibo as a whole.
Absolutely. Definitely the MVP of the entire series. I'm sure he's going to get the back-to-back MVP as well. Have to give credit to the entire team. Crisp setting up beautifully some of those fights. The